Hello and welcome to the Brutally Honest Podcast. I'm Rebecca.
I'm Rachel, and welcome to today's episode.
This week, we have such a special guest. And it's Rachel.
Wow.
This week, we get the privilege of hearing all about Rachel.
So exciting.
Her lore. And honestly, she's had some of the craziest things happen to her. Like some people know, some people don't. Yeah. And we're really going to get into it.
I just can't wait.
I can tell.
I know.
Okay, well, let's start off with a little bit about yourself. I mean, I know. Okay. So, how old are you? Where are you from? What was growing up like? Give us just a little bit of background on that.
Yeah, okay. I am 24.
Okay.
Sometimes I forget. I'm like, oh my gosh.
I know you are getting old.
It's not right. I'm from the Bay Area, aka Pleasanton, if anyone knows. Our family doesn't live there anymore, though. They live in San Clemente.
Okay.
Now, I don't know if that's like too much information to be telling the world, but it's fine. I love it there. I love it there. It's the best place. It's like literally heaven on earth to me.
Is the dream to live there one day?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I
nice.
love it. It's like, you just like can't beat it, honestly. But
no.
The youngest of 4, 2 older sisters, an older brother. Trying to think. Oh yeah, I'm married to Davis. We've been married for 4.5 years now.
Yeah.
Coming up on 5, which is also crazy.
Okay.
What else?
Oh, well, okay. So I kind of want to talk about your
growing up.
Your growing up and your
that's what I wanted to get
your youngest child energy.
Oh,
Can you describe what you were like as a child?
The only word that could be used is just divalicious. I was so diva growing up, which people that know me now, like, I feel like if you told that to my in-laws, they'd be like, what? Like, what do you mean?
Totally.
No, I was the biggest diva. Loved being the center of attention. Loved like bugging my older siblings. Like, people are like, oh, my older siblings harassed me. No, I harassed my older siblings.
No, literally, our older brother was scared of you.
Yes. No, like, I was like scratching, clawing, like literally I was running that household with an iron fist.
No, you ran the household. She was like super skinny, and for some reason she had the cutest just belly. And now
this
you're
is
just
also
like,
when I was 8.
You're a string
to be
bean.
clear.
Yes,
like
no, and you had the biggest belly, and we called her Bubs.
Yes,
because she was a huge baby,
and then I like to think from there I was just larger than life.
You were larger than life, and like people who know you now, I think see you as like pretty like logical, stoic, like very reasonable, probably. No, she was vicious.
Oh yeah.
She would lie, manipulate, steal. I remember my friends like loved her, but then also she would like literally claw at my friends.
Oh, absolutely. Steal their phones. Like, I would 100%. Do anything to get my hands on a cell phone. Like, I just wanted my hands on a cell phone so badly.
Yes.
Like, yes. No, I was.
You also had like the highest fashion.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. Just like pure diva. There's this picture of me. Rebecca has used it as her profile picture for some reason because I was just an icon. I was wearing this all pink, like pink jeans, pink little like zip up jacket, and this pink umbrella with my K-Swiss sneakers that I loved. And then I was just posed, like struck a pose with that umbrella. I looked amazing in that photo.
You did.
But yeah, diva from day one, loved a juicy tracksuit. Like in 2nd grade, would die for a juicy tracksuit.
Oh, yes. Oh, 100% that was you.
Yeah.
Okay, so talk to me about growing up and like, I don't know, talk to me about your interests and what you did and what it was like. And let's get into kind of like middle school onto high school a little bit too.
Growing up. So you left the house when I was in 5th grade, and then Matt left like 2 years later. So like, I'm just saying there weren't like a ton of kids around once I reached like middle and high school. Like high school was like just me, except my freshman year at home. Interests, like super active, like loved, like I played all the sports. I feel like growing up, our parents just put us in everything. It was like year round. You just like played the sport of the season, and then you picked your sport. I picked volleyball. Played it all through high school. Like that was just like my thing, was volleyball, school. Our parents, I was thinking about this today. I was like, if there's a word I could use, like how I would describe our parents, it was just that they cared a lot.
Totally. And they're super
and I think
passionate.
Yes, like when you like they cared a lot about like our future, and they cared a lot about like they really wanted the best for us, which meant that they really cared about like how we did in school, how we did in church, like all of those things. They just really cared because they wanted the best for us. And not to say that other people don't care, but I just think that's like a good way to describe them, is that like they just cared a lot.
Did you feel that?
Yeah, no, I like knew that like where their priorities were, if that makes sense. Like they didn't care as much about, like they obviously cared about sports because I cared about sports and like they wanted us to be really busy, but they weren't the parents that were like, you know, talking to you after your game and yelling at you because you missed a shot or whatever.
No, yeah.
Like that was not them. They were like, oh, I'm glad you're participating. I want you to try your best and work hard. But for sure, like with school, it was like, I knew when the report card came home, like they were going to look at that and they cared about what they saw there. Just because, you know, like they wanted us to like have the most opportunities and like more opportunities than they had.
Yeah.
Growing up for sure. So I feel like, yeah, I definitely felt that. And I wouldn't say it was like to a toxic fever pitch at all.
Yeah.
And like they were always willing to like help. Like if you were falling behind in something, it was like, okay, like what can we do? Like, let's get you a tutor. Let's figure it out. But yeah, like I for sure would say they cared. And they also cared about us. Like that's what I mean is that like in a holistic sense,
Yeah.
they just really cared. So like we were just like really busy growing up and like.
So did you feel like you were busy?
Yeah. No, super
You felt
busy.
like it was busy.
Yeah.
Okay, great. And so talk to me more a little bit about high school. And I do this because I think, and the listeners are going to find out, I would say something that was like very pinnacle in your life happened right after high school, but I kind of want to get like a view on high school, maybe even senior year up to that point. You know, what were you like? What was your high school experience like? What were you dealing with? What was going on?
For sure. So I would like break high school up in this way. My freshman year of high school, my parents moved to Utah.
Okay.
So our whole life, like all of us had grown up in Pleasanton, gone to all the same schools. Freshman year.
You kind of like knew everyone.
Yes. It's like, you know, everyone, you'd grown up there, like you'd been there forever and your whole family had been there forever.
Yeah.
And then after my 8th grade year, that summer, we moved to Utah because like my 3 older siblings were all going to be there. My sister graduated a year early from high school, so she was going out early for school. So my parents were like, we're all just going to go, like be together.
Totally.
We moved to Utah freshman year. That was not fun. I literally made no friends. I had no friends.
Yeah.
I also feel like Utah was very like bubbly in the sense of like people also all knew each other. And with Utah, like most people's families have lived here forever. Like their grandparents live here, their cousins, like there's just so much connection. And I was like, well, I'm like not part of this social fabric at all. Like we have some family here, but not a ton. So I literally made no friends. Well, I had like acquaintances and like people I was friends with, but like sat alone at lunch every day, like never really made like any meaningful friendships, never really did anything.
Yeah.
People were so nice to me though. Like no one ever bullied me or like.
It's just getting that layer deeper probably.
Yeah, exactly. It's like I had my friends that I played volleyball with but like it was like beyond that, it was like, no, we're not really friends outside of volleyball and or like class and things like that. And then the end of the year, we moved back to Pleasanton. My parents were like, "Okay, this is clearly like not working. Like, this is not."
And so clearly, was that like a harder year for you?
Oh, for sure.
How did you deal with that? Like emotionally, would you say?
I was like fine. Like, I'm not like a super emotional person.
Yeah.
And for me, I just kind of was like, well, this isn't working. And I think like what happened was I just like kind of accepted it. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't. Like I kind of, in some ways, like by the time like December rolled around, it was like, I'm not really trying to make a lot of friends anymore. Cause I was just like,
it just didn't happen.
I'm like, this just is. I'm like, okay, I tried whatever. I was like naturally just shy also. And like, didn't love like going out to someone being like, hey, can I sit with you at lunch?
Yeah.
Like, oh my gosh,
sucks.
that was like awful.
Totally.
Yeah. So I wouldn't say I was like naturally super outgoing. And then also, yeah, like at some point I was just like, I'm
done with this.
Yeah. It's like, I'm just like not putting.
And it's like sex. It's just hard to engage. Too.
Yes, exactly.
It's like sometimes you get shot down.
Yeah. And so I was like, hey, I'm just like done kind of. And so I think I just got into like a routine. Like I'm big as like, if I get into a routine with something, I know what to expect. I'm like, okay, like this is just what I do.
Yeah.
Like at lunch, I would just go like sit in the library and like do my thing for 30 minutes and then go back to class. And it was just like, oh, whatever.
Got it.
Yeah, so I feel like that's kind of what.
Okay, so then end of this year, it's like everyone's like, this is clearly not it, kind of thing.
Yeah, my parents were like, hey, you're clearly like, they're like, things haven't really changed.
Yeah,
and they had known another kid that had lived there for 3 years and like had never made friends, and they were like, we don't really want that for you for high school.
Yeah,
and so we moved back because my parents had kept our home and like just rented it out.
Got it.
In Pleasanton, and so we just moved back like right into the same house.
And how was the move back?
Oh, it was like the best. It was like, one thing I will say, like everyone in Utah was super nice, but like when I moved back to Pleasanton, like the first day that I was there, I had like 3 people that I actually didn't know that like came from a different middle school be like, hey, if you like don't have anywhere to sit at lunch, like come sit with me.
Oh,
I know. And I was like, oh, thanks. Like I actually know people, but like that's so nice of you.
That's
like
amazing.
They knew I just moved back in.
Yeah.
So, you know, it was great. I knew all my friends from middle school and like, from like from volleyball and other places. And so, and that summer we moved back earlier in the summer. So I went to like summer volleyball camp, I made varsity that year, was super stoked. Like, yeah, the move back was great. I would say like, it wasn't that. The move back was super easy, like pretty seamless, I would say.
Yeah, you're just back into your routine.
Exactly. And like some people
social and so fun.
Yeah, and like some people had moved in that I like didn't know, but again, it was just like, oh, I'll meet new people, and like you already know so many people, so it was so fun. Okay,
so your sophomore year, it's so fun. Things are like kind of back in the swing of things. You have a social life again. You're loving it, thriving.
Yes.
Okay, so talk to me about kind of junior, senior year graduating. That
whole. So I'm going to school, as one does in high school. And then it was the summer before my junior year, I went on this humanitarian trip to Bolivia. So I was in Bolivia for like 2 weeks.
Okay.
I come home from Bolivia and my parents were like, hey, we think you should graduate high school a semester early.
Okay.
So my sister had, like our sister, one in between us, had done this. And she just took the GRE. So like the test that people just take to like test out of high school. Mm-hmm. Like, you don't have to like finish any credits. You literally just take this test. And if you pass it, it's like you have your certificate of achievement from the state of California.
Got it.
It's like you don't graduate from your high school, but you get like a certificate. And you can apply early to college. I mean, in our family, it was like everyone goes to BYU. And so you can apply early to BYU with that certificate and with like all the credits that you do have and your GPA that you do have.
Yeah.
And they'll like look at that and like consider your application basically.
Yeah.
So I get back and I was like, okay, because like my dream was always to go to BYU. So I was like, yeah, like why not?
Yeah.
Like just see if I get in kind of thing. Like I've always wanted to go there. So I end up applying. It's like a whole, like, it's like a rush to apply to get everything in the next 30 days, do all my essays and everything. End up applying. I think I find out end of August, like right after school had started, that I got in. Yeah. And so I think when I got in, I was super excited because it was like my whole life I've wanted, like I knew this was like my school. Like this was where I wanted to go.
Like
and
your
I knew
whole family went there.
Yes. Like both our parents went there. All of my siblings went there. Like, and everyone like hypes up the experience of BYU. They're like, oh, it's like the best. So I was stoked to get in, but also I was like, dang, I kind of wish this were like for the normal time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was like, I'm so excited to go, but I also have this kind of lingering feeling of like, dang, this is like a lot earlier.
Yeah.
Than I would have anticipated. So I didn't skip my whole senior year. It was just going to be like the second semester. So like I would go to school in January.
Got it.
That would have been the last half of my senior year. I would start college that January.
So did you end up doing that?
Yeah, I did. Because it was like, I got in. And so I was like, this is my dream. Like, why would I not go?
Okay, so you go to then BYU a year, like half a year early,
semester early. Mm-hmm.
How was that semester? Talk to me about that semester.
Yeah, I would say that semester was tough in a lot of ways. I mean, obviously, like, I moved into the dorms, and it was hard also because everyone had already met everyone.
Yeah.
Like, you go to the dorms, and, like, everyone's made their friends. Like, I feel like people kind of trauma bond that first month of, like, we're all new, we're all milling about trying to make all these friends.
Yeah.
And then it's kind of a little bit cemented for the second semester.
Totally.
So it was for sure just, like, growing pains. Like, I'm the 17-year-old in college, and, like...
You kind of come in halfway through the year.
Yes, and it's like, okay, like, I'm trying to figure this out, but no one else around me is trying to figure this out.
Yeah.
So for sure, just, like, growing pains there. But I, like, met a really, like, nice group of girls who were really nice. I was thinking about this today, actually. My first semester was our brother's last semester. And so I was thinking, like, hey, like, would I go back and do anything differently? Like, if I could? And I, like, honestly, no. Like, I think about, like, that semester, like, for nothing else, I would stay just because I got to spend so much time with our brother and also with our sister that I would never have been able to otherwise. Like, my brother and I are 6 years apart. And so, like, when he left the house, I was, like, 11, almost 12. And so it's, like, you're just, like, the annoying 11, almost 12-year-old little sister.
Yeah.
And so it was really cool that, like, he was single and, like, it was his last semester, as I already said. And so it was, like, those memories that we made that semester and, like, the relationship that we made that semester is, like, something I wouldn't trade for the world. Like, it's, like, such a unique time that we would have never been able to have any other way. Because after that, he, like, moved on to New York and, like, was so busy with his job that, like...
Yeah, he's never been the same since, really.
No, like, he's just been so busy ever since that it's, like, we would have never had that time to build, like, any real relationship had I not been there. And, like, my sister was there also, but, like, we were much closer in age, and so, like, we already had that established. But yeah, like my brother and I took a class together. I also took a class with my like other sister. And so like those are just like such unique experiences that I wouldn't have. And it's like, no, I like actually wouldn't trade that. Like if I could go back and do that again, like I would be so glad that I had that. Cause that's so much more meaningful to me than like anything a second semester of high school could have done.
Yeah. That's really cool.
That was really cool.
You two just bombing around Provo.
Yes. He just took me under his wing.
Funny. So I do remember you telling me that like you could tell whether or not a girl was interested in Matt or like, no, whether he was interested in the girl based on how quickly he would introduce you as a sister.
Absolutely. Yes. It was like, if he was interested in a girl, it was immediately like, this is my little sister. Like, this is my little sister. We're just here like at crepes together for fun. And then if like he like, it was a girl that was talking to him, that he was like kind of slow playing and like everyone's trying to figure out the vibes. It was like right at the end, he'd be like, oh yeah, and this is my sister. Like they talk for 3 minutes. She'd kind of be eyeing me the whole time. I don't really introduce myself because I'm just like,
you're like
we're not going to be friends.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm
she
17.
hates me also.
Yes.
She thinks I'm not related to him, so
she's giving me the look. Like kind of like, I don't know about this chick. Like trying to gauge like, I don't recognize you. I've never seen you before. And then right at the end, I get the slip of, oh, this is my sister.
Love. That's so funny.
It was so funny. And it was like without fail. It happened every time.
That's so funny. Yeah. I bet that happened all the time with you guys.
Oh, yes. All the time, everywhere.
That's so fun. Okay, so you're kind of ish freshman year, kind of not.
Yeah, kind of this random semester.
But like so fun because you're with family and developing relationships. Okay, so you go back home for the summer.
Yeah, for like 6 weeks.
Okay, so you're only home for 6 weeks.
Yeah, I'm only home for 6 weeks because I did summer term with my best friend from high school. So it was only like a 6 week gap that I had.
Okay, so you're only home for a second.
Yeah, it was just like kind of a blink.
Okay, and so then you go back to BYU early.
Yeah.
So summer semester.
So I do summer term.
Okay, and you're back in the dorms?
Back in the dorms.
Okay.
Again.
Okay, and so you're dating around.
Yeah,
I know.
Like
you're
dating
a little
around,
shoddy.
doing the Provo things.
Yes, totally.
Like first
staying
semester,
out late.
Yes, having fun.
Okay, and so you're with your best friend from Pleasanton in the dorms.
Yes. So she comes up and we work together.
Talk to me about that a little bit.
Yeah,
and maybe we can get into
the
next chapter.
The next chapter.
If there's a next chapter, everyone pay attention.
Yeah, this is it. So like we're living together, having fun. Like, as I said, just like doing everything that you do in Provo.
Yeah.
And then probably, I think this would be like halfway through the term because it's pretty short. It was July 21st would be this night.
Okay.
2019.
So 2019, July 21st.
July 21st. This is a Sunday. Okay. That night.
A Sunday.
Yeah. So it's like that night I start just like feeling kind of weird. Like, and I remember we had like driven somewhere and then we were walking around and I had just like these weird tingles on like the left half of my body. Like, tingles in like my brain and like my hand and just like this half of my face. And then I had this like really strong like pressure in my chest. Like I just felt like something was like, it was like almost about to burst in some way. And like just the left side of my body felt really weird. But I'm like 17.
How often were these tingles going on?
Like it was continuous.
So
like
they would last tingling. For how long?
Like I just was tingling.
Like you were tingly for hours.
Yeah, like it just like kind of came on and I was like, I'm just like feeling tingly. Like it's kind of like what's going on? Like why am I tingling?
Got you.
And I remember like we were in, I don't remember where we were, but I remember saying to my friend, I was like, I feel like I'm just like having a stroke. Like what is going on? I just feel so weird. But I just was like, I'm 17, so I don't really think anything of it. I've never had like anything like this ever happen to me. I've been healthy my whole life. Like,
and you go to the gym every single day. I mean, like,
I am like the one person on campus who's like, I'm so dedicated to not gaining the freshman 15. Like, I eat super healthy. I'm like, I go to the gym literally every single day. I've always been like so active my whole life, like playing sports year round, super intense. And so I was just like not. Like, that would never cross my mind. Totally. Something would be going on. Like, I would be like, well, what do you mean I'm going to the ER on a Sunday night? Like, no, I'm fine.
Yeah.
Again, as a college student, I'm like, I'm just going to sleep it off.
Totally.
Like, I'll wake up and be fine tomorrow. So I go to bed on the 21st at like 12:30, whatever. And then I wake up at 7:30 on the dot. And I shoot up in bed and I'm like, something is wrong. Like, I don't know what, but I wake up and I'm like, something is wrong. And then I try to get out of bed. Can't. Like, cannot move my legs.
What do you mean you can't get out of bed?
Like, I can't move my legs.
So
I wake up and it's like, I look down at my legs and there's nothing. No response, moving. No twitch, no wiggling of the toes, like nothing.
Oh my gosh.
Not a single, like literally nothing. Like people are like, oh, you'll like just roll yourself. No, like there was no control. Like I would just like try to get my legs to move and it was just like they weren't even attached to my body.
That's so crazy.
Yeah. So my friend, so then I wake up, my friend's name's Kate. I'm like, Kate, like come over. Like I need you to help me out of bed. Like I can't move my legs. It's my poor friend. Oh my gosh. So she comes over and she's like, Kay, like I'll just like kind of help you out of bed. Like maybe just kind of to get upright. And then when you get upright, like you'll kind of, you know, you'll figure it out. Your body will kind of kick into gear. It just needs a little help. So she comes over, tries to pull me out of bed, and I just, ton of bricks, just fall like straight to the floor.
Really?
Like there was nothing. Like my legs, like were just literally just like noodles, just like on the ground. And so she's like, okay, interesting. And I'm like, I can't do anything. Like I'm just sitting there. So I like this is when I start calling my mom. Again, it's like, it's 6:30 California time, and she gets this phone call from her daughter, like, hey, I can't move my legs. Yeah. And she's just like, she's like, hey, well, like, go probably get that checked out. Like, go, she's like, don't call an ambulance, though. Like, those like we're like, our family was always like, the ambulance is expensive, so if you can drive, just drive. So I'm like, okay, yeah. Like, I'll get a ride there somehow. My mom is like, she's like, looking back, I should probably get an ambulance because we didn't know what was going on. But she's just
had no idea.
Yes, but like, the point is that everyone was caught so off guard by this.
Well, I remember because I was living at home at the time. She walks into my room and she's like, "So Rachel's paralyzed." I'm in my bed. I'm like, excuse me?
Literally. What? Like, think of how like bizarre this news is.
Yeah,
like this is not within the realm.
And like, her reaction wasn't like.
She's in shock.
It is shock.
Yes.
She has not processed anything at all.
Everyone's just kind of like, what do you mean? Like, if there's a phrase, it's like, what do you mean you can't move your legs? Like, this is not... Anyway.
Not in, like, no car crash.
No,
like, we got
no accident. It's like, I woke up one morning and it was like, gone. It was like, no more.
So crazy.
Like, it literally was just like, literally overnight.
Okay, so how do you get to the airport? How do you get to the ER?
Yes, so I drive a stick shift car at this time. My best friend cannot drive a stick shift car. So I'm the chauffeur of the summer. She doesn't have a car at school. And so I'm like, Kate, you gotta get me to the car. And I'm like, we gotta find a driver for this car. So I call someone, they're like, hey, no, I got a quiz, I can't make it. I was like, totally get it. He's like, I called someone, he's like, sorry, because we're calling people we know that can drive a stick. He's like, sorry, I've already hit my absences for the summer, like I can't miss any more class. And I was like, yeah, totally. Oh, totally, bro. Like, you go to class.
Like, I get it.
Yeah, I'm like, me too. Same. So then we call someone else. A guy like Kate was talking to at the time. He comes over, and so Kate had piggybacked me into the hallway, and I'm doing like a tricep dip down each stair. So I'm like, get down a step. I'm like manually move my legs, get down a step, and like push my legs down. Cause she can't carry me. Like I'm like 5 inches taller than she is. Like
totally.
So then he comes in to the hallway, the stairwell, and like just scoops me up as a small child. And I just get carried out to the parking lot where my car is. And I remember being pulled out, and I'm like, people probably think, who is this just diva who's making this guy carry her to her car? And I'm like, no, guys, I promise. I just can't move.
So what's going through your brain at this point? Has anything hit, or are you also in shock yourself?
It's really pretty much just like, what is going on? Because I mean, this all happens in the span of like 30 minutes.
Okay, yeah.
And so my brain like immediately is like in problem solving mode of just like, okay, well, I need to get to the hospital. So what steps do I need to take to get to the hospital where they're gonna like figure out what's going on?
Yeah.
Like I hadn't had any sort of time to like really think about like the future ramifications of this happening. I'm just like, so there's an issue, something's wrong, let's go figure it out. Like it was very, not transactional, but very much like, okay, well, these are the steps we need to be taking.
Yeah.
So I get to the hospital, the cute nurse is like, they go in and like get me a wheelchair, like bring it to the car, I get in a wheelchair, they pull me in, and the nurse is like, well, can you get out? And like, we need to weigh you. And I was like, no, I cannot move. I was like, no, I cannot step on this scale, ma'am. I'm like, stop looking at me like I'm lazy. I can't move. But to be fair, they're probably seeing this 17-year-old girl come in and they're like, sis, what? Like, there's no accident and you just woke up with like this issue. Like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
So I get to the hospital. They put me in like the intake ER area. And at that point, it's just like a lot of doctors are coming in. Eventually, our other sister, Jacqueline, she's there, she's working. So like she hadn't gotten my initial calls when I'd called her. And then eventually I was texting her, and eventually she got all my messages, and then this just makes me laugh. Eventually she like told her supervisor, she's like, my sister's in the hospital, like I don't really know, like I might like go try to visit her, and she's like, no, you need to leave. So Jackson comes. So my sister makes it, like people are kind of like shuffling in and out, and then like doctors are coming in and out, just like, and it's the same, like, okay, when did these like symptoms come on? What happened last night? So I'm just like telling the same story I've told like 50 different times to 50 different doctors. I think my parents immediately like jump in the car to start driving out. They were planning on leaving the next day, and they're like, hey, well, we're just going to leave today. Like, so they jump in the car and start driving, and then begins the saga. Day one is just like testing. I get like a lumbar puncture the first day, which is a spinal tap. Also, if
like what's a spinal tap?
They basically puncture, like they go outside with like a big gauge needle, and they puncture a hole into your spinal column to take out spinal fluid, because they're trying to see like, do I have like meningitis, a bunch of different things. They just like test your spinal fluid to see if there is an infection, a virus, like something going on within that could have any like, obviously what like that would tell them what's going on. That comes back clean. I think I get an initial MRI that day. Or I get like an EKG because I had a pressure in my chest. So they're like, oh, maybe it's a heart thing. I get an EKG. I get an X-ray. I get an MRI, I think, that day. I'll come back clean. So like, and again, I've had so many tests over like, honestly, the whole duration of this event. And so it all like is a blur of what happened when, but like, first day, it's all just taking blood.
Test. We don't know what's going on. Test.
Yeah, no idea. Just exploratory
and
testing.
You're still, you can't move any legs.
Can't move anything. Like I'm just laying in a bed.
Got it.
Just watching some movies. Like, okay. Like I think I made someone bring my laptop because like I'm an assignment due. So like I kind of got to get some stuff done. So I'm just hanging out there pretty much. And they have no answers for me.
And no one has any answers.
No one has any answers. Like, all the tests are coming back clear. There's like nothing wrong with me, but they like keep asking me questions. Like, you know, like, were you overseas recently? I was like, no, I went to Bolivia like 2 years ago, but they're like, no, that's not going to be.
Yeah.
So they have a bunch of questions. But so nothing's conclusive the first day. Eventually everyone gets there. Mom and dad get there. Then I'm trying to think. So eventually, what's crazy, the first day they were like, well, we need to figure out if we're going to admit you.
They weren't even.
Yes, they were like, we're trying to figure out if we're going to admit you. And I was like,
what are you talking about?
No, I was like, you are not sending me home in a wheelchair and saying, what do you mean you're going to not admit me?
That's crazy.
No, I know. So I think a lot of people, thought I was like being dramatic and like looking for attention. I was like, look, if I were looking for attention, I'd go dye my hair, not pretend I'm paralyzed.
Yeah, that's like crazy.
I'm smart enough to know that lie's going to catch up to me.
Yeah,
not going to give me the attention I want and make it look crazy. So I'm like, whoa. I'm like, that is an insult to my intelligence here.
That's crazy.
So so at first, all the tests are coming back clear for like the first week. The first week in the hospital, like there's nothing wrong with me.
Yeah, according
to them. So like I done a bunch of MRIs, and so a lot of different doctors had different working theories. One was like, I think you're going to have a spinal stroke. He's like, I think you've had a spinal stroke and it just hasn't come up on the MRIs yet.
Yeah.
But he's like, and that basically renders you, like, what happened is forever. Like, there's nothing they can do.
You're randomly paralyzed forever.
Yes. Like, overnight you had a spinal stroke, and, like, these are the symptoms of that, and they're going to be there forever. And then another doctor said he thought it was conversion. So basically that means I have a lot of, like, stress and, like, mentally things are happening that then my body converts that into physical symptoms based on like stress. But I'm like,
were you stressed at all?
Well, no. So this is a problem. So I talked to the doctor and I'd been like, I didn't do like that well on this one test a week ago. And that like kind of bummed me out. I was like a little bit stressed because I was like, okay, I need to do better on my next test.
Yeah.
But I mean, not to the point of paralysis. Maybe I was bummed when I got the results back and they weren't what I wanted, but I mean, full circle, I had to withdraw from the class anyways because I was paralyzed. So, I mean, it worked out in my favor. But so then he took that like little nugget and ran with it. And was like, oh my gosh, this is like this high achieving girl who's put so much pressure on herself that like she's just like,
she just can't do it anymore.
Yes, like she just broke, and like her mind, they're like, your mind is a powerful tool. And I was like, okay. But I'm like not a very like high stress person. I'm not super high strung.
Yeah.
Like,
no, you're not.
Like, I want to succeed and I like push myself, but not to a point of like this frazzled, unable to function. I was like, I feel like that just like didn't really resonate with me. I was like, no, there's something wrong with me.
Totally.
Like, But at the time I was like, okay, like maybe I'll lean into this theory. And my parents were like, hey, well, what do we do in that case? I'm like, well, a lot of therapy and like just see what happens. And so the first week it was just like pretty much no answers. And a lot of different working theories from a lot of different doctors. People saying I was never going to walk again. People saying like it's all in your head. Just like so many different things swirling around that it's like I don't even know
what's up or
what
down.
to do with this.
Yeah.
Like I don't know what to do with this, which I think in some ways was helpful because it let me like keep my own beliefs as far as I was like I'm going to walk again. I was like I know for a fact, like it was like factual to me that I was going to walk again, like from the get-go. I was like no, I'm going to like not necessarily be fine, but I was like no, I'm going to walk. Like this isn't forever.
Yeah.
And I think like having the doctors say so many different things allowed me to have that, because I think if all the doctors would have been saying like, you've had a spinal stroke, this is going to be forever, that kind of would have
closed that door.
Yeah. Closed that door and kind of chipped away at the belief inside of me. But because I was like, they don't know what's going on clearly. I'm like, they're just pulling stuff out and pretending they know fact when I'm like, and also none of the imaging was supporting anything that they said.
Got it.
I'm like, okay, well, like if I have a spinal stroke, like show me the imaging, show me the MRI that says I have a spinal stroke. So, and nothing ever did. So so I was just like, I'm going to walk again. And then eventually we had a family friend who was like, hey, you need to get them to take her to a bigger hospital, like a research hospital that like is used to seeing like very atypical cases where like they don't really know what's going on. He's like, this local hospital is great for an appendectomy, but not great for this case where they have no idea what's going on.
This bizarre case that like no one has answers to.
No, not
you
a
wake
soul.
up paralyzed one day.
Yes. So then I get transferred to the University of Utah.
Via ambulance.
Yes, via ambulance. I ate my Chipotle burrito bowl for dinner.
You did.
In the ambulance.
You did.
And that was it.
Yep.
Yeah. I remember you were in the ambulance with me and we just bombed up for an hour.
I do remember it. I have like a Snapchat video of it. Yep.
The ambulance techs were like, you're not a typical ambulance rider. I'm just hanging out.
She's just eating a Chipotle. Yes. Can't move her legs.
Yeah, just hanging out. And so then, make it to the U. I get there pretty late at night. And I just have a team of doctors that come in. They do their regular head to toe inspection of me, basically.
I remember that vividly, actually.
Same. I remember this one girl.
Me too. I know what girl you're talking about.
In the light green scrubs.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
She was great.
Yeah, she was great. She was a student.
Yeah, she was.
And she was just so excited.
So excited to be a part of this.
I remember she had this little piece of paper that she had like done with, they had like pointy and smooth. She's like, is this pointy or smooth? Pointy or smooth? And she's like poking. So I'm like poked and prodded in every way you can think. Like just think about literally when they say poked and prodded, they mean it. You are poked and prodded all days. They wake you up every 4 hours, take your blood pressure. It's like the whole extravaganza of being in the hospital nonstop.
Yeah.
2 weeks. Anyways, so get to the U. I have a whole new team of doctors. I'm trying to think, like, I don't know what happened at the U versus what happened at the other hospital. It wasn't super clear as far as, like, the timeline of, like, what tests were done where. They did, like, another spinal test. They basically redid all of the tests. Got another spinal tap, blood work, the works, essentially, all the time.
Yeah.
And then eventually, I don't know at what point this was. I think this was probably about 10 days in, is what I'm guessing, is then I get an MRI done, and they had the part of the reason why I went up is because they have a higher quality resolution MRI machine. So it turns out not all MRI machines are made the same, which I didn't know previous to this. Yeah. And so they basically had more slices of images that they could look through. And our friend had got it to a doctor, to a radiologist who was, they're like in Bulgaria on vacation, but he was like, hey, can you like just like take a look at this as a favor for us? Yeah. So he looks at the slides and he's able to find like one single sliver, like slide at T4 on my spine, where they're basically, there's like white and gray matter, and they have this thing called the myelin sheath on your spine that basically is the fatty coating to your spine. Yeah. And mine had been degraded in a spot. So there's like, it's what's called demyelination of the spine. And so he had found a spot of demyelination, and he's like, yeah, that's what this is. And so at that point, I had inflammation in both the white and gray matter of the spine. So they were like debating between two different prognoses, which one was transverse myelitis, one was acute flaccid myelitis. And one was more so associated with an autoimmune condition, one wasn't. Anyways, there was like this whole, they basically they deduced that they thought it was transverse myelitis. Whether or not that's what they deduced it to be, basically, and what they told me. So the hard thing with that diagnosis is there's no treatment plan. Like there's nothing they can do. So they put me on IV steroids because steroids just reduce inflammation.
Yeah.
That's what they do. So I was on a heavy dose of IV steroids and I was doing physical therapy every day, like still in the hospital.
Yeah.
And they were like, yeah, like because you seemed to like respond slightly to the IV steroids, we're going to say it was transverse myelitis versus acute flaccid.
Okay. So hold on. Take me into, so you, one day you are completely paralyzed.
Yes.
10 days in, are you still completely paralyzed?
Yeah.
What's going on there?
Yeah. So at that point, the first thing I had been able to do was flex like my quad. So I remember what happened is my right leg started, like I could kind of have some mobility with it.
Okay, your right leg started coming back a little bit.
It started coming back a little bit more. And but still nothing in the left leg at all. It was like, I can't. But the right leg was still really weak. So it was like I could kind of shift my right leg like left and right. But it was not like, let me go hop and like do anything crazy. Yeah, so it started to come back a little bit in the right leg. Probably around day 5-ish is when it kind of starts to have some more mobility. But yeah, like nothing in the left for a really long time. And then one night in the hospital, it was probably like midnight when I was like, there's a video I have on my phone of like my left quad just like flexing a little bit. And I remember I was like, Mom, like come look at this, like come see. So I was like, I could just barely flex my quad. And then it was like, okay, it was like almost weight bearing where I could like maybe stand up a little bit. But the hard thing was also like at first when I was in the hospital, like when they would basically have two people hold me and like stand me up. Yeah. I would pass out. So I was like, I couldn't like regulate my blood pressure for some reason. So like if I sat up for too long, I would start getting lightheaded and pass out, or like, again, like if I sat up or they tried to get me to stand up, like I would pass out. So it was just like this whole long process of like my body trying to figure out what was going on, even in that sense. Yeah. And then also like on the strength side, that was when it started to like kind of come back. But yeah, again, it's not like binary. It's like a sunrise coming back. Yeah. Like, okay, there's like a little bit of light on the horizon that like maybe this isn't going to be forever. And so like there are like videos of me doing physical therapy or like what things looked like in the hospital was like, I'd be practicing crawling or like trying to just like get my leg to move one way multiple times, like doing clamshells or like fire hydrants or things like that. And then I think at the end of my stay was when they had this brace made for me that was casted basically to be my left leg, such that I had a toe drop, so I couldn't like get my foot to lift itself. So like that prevents you from walking. Yeah. And so basically it forces your leg into a fixed position. So like because I had a little bit of hip mobility, I could like kind of swing my left leg almost. So I would like hold onto the rails of the treadmill. Yeah. And like my right leg would walk and my left leg would just kind of like swing next to it. And it was able to like hold my weight enough that I could kind of hobble, basically. Yeah. Like imagine just having an actual peg leg. is like the best thing I can do to describe it.
Well, I even remember being in the hospital and you couldn't go to the bathroom by yourself. Yeah. And I remember like your bowel movements, or not even bowel movements, just like your bladder regulation was like super off. And so, but anyways, I do remember like the one day where it was like, oh my gosh, like I can like control going to the bathroom. Yeah. And that was like a huge win in the hospital.
Because it wasn't like I couldn't control, I just like couldn't go. That was my issue.
Oh,
I just couldn't go.
That's so crazy.
Yeah, so it was just like nothing would happen. One day they tried to like, they're like, well, we're just not gonna like, because I would have catheters, basically, is what they do in that scenario. Yeah. And I remember one day they're like, we're just gonna let you expand as big as you can get, and then like hopefully that'll just force your body to like remember whatever. No, just gave me a UTI.
That's crazy.
It didn't work. It was a disaster. I had like a liter of fluid and
okay, so
it's crazy.
So you're basically 10 days in the hospital. Yeah. Have you had any time to process what's going on? Like what's going on emotionally? What's going on through your head? Was there a moment where it was like, oh my gosh, my life has been changed forever? Or was it more of just this like, I don't know, I'm just trying to wade through this?
Yeah, I think more so the latter. I would say when I look back, there are like a few moments that really stick out to me as far as being difficult. And it's interesting because they're insignificant. So the first was when I was transferred from the emergency room into like my regular hospital room. It was the children's. Because I was 17, I hadn't turned 18, so I was in the children's hospital. Yeah. And I remember they only had children's movies, and I just started crying because I was like, they don't have normal movies. I was like, I can't watch princess movies. So I kind of had, the way that I operate is just like, okay, this is this box that I have like figured out. Like I was like, I have control over this and I can make this work with this box.
Yeah.
And then like when something outside got thrown in that messed with like my little box I'd created for myself, it was like, no. Like this is what I need.
Yeah.
So it was that. And then the other time in the hospital, I only cried in the hospital twice. The other time I cried in the hospital was when my mom suggested that I eat the hospital food and not have my family come bring in Chipotle for me. That was my nightly meal, was Chipotle. And when she suggested we ate the hospital food, I was like, no.
Yeah,
like the waterworks. I was like, I can't. And my poor mom is like, okay, we'll get you some Chipotle. Like, you're going to be fine. But it was just like, that was the thing that I look forward to every day. I was like, I don't want to eat the hospital food.
Yeah.
But as far as like broader emotions going on, it's kind of like when something initially happens, you have so many people rallying around you. Yeah. Like everyone from our immediate family was there.
Yeah.
My brother like was flying in from New York on the weekends.
Yeah.
He was like out there working at the time. And I mean, he still is, but he was there when I was there. And so it was just like, I just had so much hope. Like truly, like I think of times when like you can feel the power of people like praying for you, rooting for you, like all of those things. Like you are just like so rallied and supported that I just had like so much faith, faith and so much hope. And like, I was just like, I was so convicted that I was like, I'm going to come out the other side of this. Like I had so much conviction in the hospital. And for sure, I remember I had moments where I would go on, like my dad would take me on walks, or people would take me in like the wheelchair, just like go get outside for a second.
Yeah.
And I remember sitting outside and I remember seeing, this is so mean, but I was 17 and I remember seeing someone who was like very overweight and like obese going through the parking lot and like hobbling. And I was like, I would kill to have my body be able to work. And like, you are
like not taking care of your body.
And like, you're like forsaking your body in some ways. And I was just like, and again, I don't know that person's story. You can say so many things, but just in that moment, it was like, I have done everything my whole life to be healthy. Like I have worked, like my health has always been very important to me. Yeah. Like even if I didn't couch it as such, it was like, no, like I've been super active. I like take care of myself. And it was kind of like, I feel like this is a betrayal of like all of that I've done. It's like, man, I would kill to have my body be fine. And then like to see people not taking care of theirs was like a very like poignant feeling for me. I was like, man, like, dude, I would kill to have like the ability you have. And I'm sitting here in this wheelchair at 17, just like, what? So I remember that, like, I vividly remember that happening in the hospital. I remember I had like a few like key points. One of them was also like, you know what, like this, it's so rare for this diagnosis. It's like 1 in a million. So it's literally 1 in a million chance that this awful thing would happen to me. And again, it's like they have no idea why it happened. Like they don't know why the inflammation is there. They just know that it's there. And so it's like so fluke accident almost. Crazy. So it's like I have this 1 in a million terrible thing that happens to me. And I think one thing that I thought to myself rather than why me was why not me. But in this case, it was obviously in a negative way, but I was like, but also in a positive way. Like I was like, I want to like take forward the attitude to my life of like, why not me? Like, why can't I be 1 in a million? Because it's so easy to believe that you'll be 1 in a million in a bad way. But it was like, hey, why not me? Like, why can't I be 1 in a million in a great way? And like the things that I aspire, dream to. So yeah, I was like, why not me? Like, not why me, but like, why not? Like, why can't I be 1 in a million in bad ways, but also in good?
It's amazing. Those were kind of like your feelings going through.
Yeah, some feelings, but.
So talk to me about the end of your hospital stay.
Yeah, so I leave. I was there for almost 2 weeks. I think it was like just shy of like a day or two shy of 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I get released, and then I was really big on, I didn't want to go back to my hometown. My parents were living in Pleasant Hill at the time. I really didn't want to go back because for me, that just felt like regressing in my life. I was like, no, I don't want to go back to that place. I think also part of it was that I knew there would have been so many people there that like would have wanted to talk to me and like come over and like visit me. And then I just didn't really want that. For some reason.
I do have a question kind of what, like for those, cause I feel like this happens with people, like what can people say to you? What would you have wanted people to say to you in that situation?
Honestly, just having people being like, I'm thinking about you, I'm praying for you.
Yeah.
And also, I think also people like respond differently. For me, it was like, if we haven't been close up until this point, we are not going to be close now.
Yeah.
I was like, if we haven't talked in 6 months, don't all of a sudden try to like come into my life and like be texting me and like being supportive to me. And no hate to any of those people that tried to do that. But I was like, hey, you haven't been there. You can't be there now.
Yeah. You have to be here for the good and the bad.
Yes. Yeah. So I think that was a big thing for me. And I think some people take that differently where they like want more people in their life. But for me, I was like, hey, no, I like have my tight circle that I know is like my ride or die with me through the ups and downs. And I was like, if you haven't been here, if we're not close, like I don't want to get close to you now because of this. And also for me, I was like, I don't need like you to pity me and then all of a sudden want to like reach out and like be my friend. But like having people I didn't know so being like, hey, I saw this and I'm thinking about you and praying about you. That was meaningful. Like that for sure was like really meaningful for me to be like, hey, like you're in our family's prayers. Like that was really like what was great. Yeah, I was like, man, like people, and you can like feel it, like with the people that are like really like rallying around you. Yeah. Even in what they may consider to be a distance. Yeah. And also I had like people that like I knew that would come visit me, and that was cool. Like I'm not saying that I didn't like people visiting me, but it was just like, we're not gonna call on the phone every day for 2 hours. Right. If I'm like, we're not close.
Totally.
I think that was that. So yeah, so I was released and I went to my grandparents' house. Okay. Our grandparents' house, they live in Utah, and so they had like extra space. So I went and stayed there. Yeah. For probably a month. And I was big on like, I wanted to go back to school. But I was released from the hospital right before my 18th birthday. Yeah. And I think my 18th birthday was really when it hit me. Because in the hospital, I was always like, hey, I want to walk on my 18th birthday. Like, that's what I want. Like, that was my goal. And I remember my dad one time was like, yeah, you'll walk. Like, it just may not look how you want it to. And I was kind of like, like I didn't love that response. I was like, no, we're going to walk. We're going to walk on the 18th birthday. And I think it was on my 18th birthday that I was like, man, what's going on? Like, that's when it really hit that it was just like, hey, like, what do you mean I'm turning 18 today and I have this walker? Yeah. So I think that's when it really, it wasn't in the hospital as much. It was like on my 18th birthday, I was like just been out a few days that I was like, what do you mean I'm 18 and I have this walker? Like, what do you mean I'm 18 and I don't know if I'm ever going to like walk normally, run, do all the things that I want to do? Like, it was very much like, what is my life? Yeah. And so that day was really hard for me. And that was kind of, even my mom was like, that was the day when I knew like it really, like it was hard for you. Yeah. And it really like hit me. It was like, man, this is not what I wanted or would have ever envisioned my 18th birthday looking like, sitting in my grandparents' house with a walker. How horrible. Like, just like, I couldn't even walk.
You can't do the things that you want to do.
No. And even it was like, what? It was just the big, like, what's going on?
So bizarre.
Yeah.
So talk to me about the next couple months after that.
Yeah. So next couple months is just intensive physical therapy. So as far as like medicinal steps, I was on an oral taper of the steroids because they like, I did the IV steroids and then they make you do an oral taper for 6 weeks. I was on like some vitamins and then just doing therapy. I did physical therapy like 5 days a week and then eventually went down to like 4 and 3. But yeah, I was in intensive physical therapy, went every day. And that was pretty much just like what you think of with physical therapy. And then one thing we did that was cool was like I would do like underwater stuff because of buoyancy, you're less heavy underwater. So you can help get movement patterns back without like all of the weight of your body. Yeah. So yeah, we would do that. And so that was pretty much just my life for the next little bit. And then the school started end of August. So a few weeks after that. And then I moved back into the dorms for school. I took like a half class load. Yeah. Like only, I think, whatever, like 3 classes or something and like not super intense ones. So yeah, I was back in school. I just had a handicap pass and I was just going to school and going to physical therapy. And like, that was life at the time.
Yeah. And I mean, what's crazy is just like life just moves on. Yeah. And it's like, well, you can either jump on the train or wait for the next one. Yeah. But the train still keeps moving.
Yeah. And that was like my biggest thing with like not going home is I was like, no, like my life is still moving. I can't go back.
Yeah, you can't go back.
I was like, I can't go backwards. Like we just have to go. And people are always like, how did you do that? And I was like, well, the days just, they come. I was like, it's morning and it's night and it keeps going. And like, you're either part of that or you're just not. And it's like, they come and you just have to choose, like, what do you want to do? And like, that's all you can do. It's like, man, like, what was I going to do? Sit and do nothing? Like I could have, but it was just like,
That's crazy.
That's it.
I feel like a lot of people would not have. I feel like I would have needed some time, I think, to like process. But no, you just like, you really did just like jump right back in, and it's just like taking life literally by the horns.
It was like, dude, it just
literally
keeps going.
Yeah.
And
so were you getting like your paralysis and feeling back? What was that looking like?
I think something I didn't mention was I lost the ability to feel temperature and touch from like my chest down.
Interesting.
So it was like I could tell if you were poking me, but it was like I couldn't tell you if it hurt or not.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like I could tell if it was sharp or dull based on like the size of the patch that you touched me with, if that makes sense. Like I could tell, like I was like, oh, you're touching me with something like that is pointy because I feel a small bit of pressure, but it's like I couldn't tell you if it was hot, or like if I ran my legs underwater, I couldn't tell you if the water was hot or cold. I was like, it just is. There's water. I don't know how it feels though. And then as far as progression, I would say in the first 6 months, the progression was like the fastest it ever was, and it ever has been. So I went from wheelchair at first, and I was to a walker pretty quickly. You were
determined.
Yes, I was very obsessed with the progression of everything. So it was like, if I could be in a walker and like looking so bad on a walker, I would just be on a walker. Yeah, so there was a walker for a while, and then I got better with the walker, and then there was a crutch. And so then it was like one arm would basically crutch with me. And then I just kind of like, I wasn't on the crutch for very long because I was like, man, I would rather fall over. Around. Yeah, I was like, I'll just kind of hoof my way around with one leg. I'll look kind of funny and I don't really care. Yeah. So then it was the crutch, and then it was...
And you were going to the gym every day, by the way.
No, like I was so active.
You were like so adamant of like, this is not going to change my life.
Yeah, because my physical therapist told me like, you can't overdo it. Like you can't like move too much and like fry your spine or anything. So I was like, okay, like I'll go to physical therapy. Then I didn't have a ton of class. So it was like, man, like I'm just at the gym, like going to these classes, like doing literally
everything.
Every movement that I could possibly do. Yeah. It was like, I will do whatever you tell me or whatever you want me to do. Like my physical therapist was like, you're one of the most like dedicated people. Like if she gives me a regimen, it was like, it's done every single day. Every single day. Without question. Like I'm doing everything I can. Yeah. So that was that. And then eventually my physical therapist was so dope. Like I loved her. Yeah. She was like so integral to my whole process. So I remember probably 8 months later, I think she was like, hey, like you've kind of gone to the end of what we can do for you here. She's like, you know, everything we give you, you crush, and like, you can't, like, there's not a lot more we can do. But at this point, to be clear, like, I'm not running. Like, I'm functional. It's like, I function in my day-to-day life as a normal person. Yeah. And, like, you see me walking on the street, and it's like, I wouldn't guess anything's wrong with you.
Yeah, you wouldn't really notice.
Yeah, you, like, probably...
If you knew and you looked, you would totally notice. Yes. If you didn't, no, you like wouldn't think of it.
Yeah, you may not. Like, you just wouldn't think to look at my legs. Yes, but yeah, totally. If you knew, you could see, like, yeah, there's like the walk is weird.
A little off.
Yeah, like the one, it's not
one. Quite, one is kind of behind or bouncing, kind of weird.
Yeah, it's what happens is it just doesn't like contract the way it's supposed to. Like the biomechanics.
It's not smooth, if that makes sense. It's more choppy.
And I remember this time, like I was exhausted all the time. Yeah. Like I was just so tired because I think what people forget is like. When I would be walking, like I would have to think about every tiny muscle that you move when you walk. Like I thought about contracting those with every single bit of like energy that I had for every single step. So it's like normally you walk, you don't think about it. But for me, it was like, okay, like I have to think about, okay, lift the foot, like try to flex your leg, put it down, try to make your toe go down. And then like just each little bit, it was just like, I thought about every single part of it. And so I remember like at first it was like walking for 10 minutes was like, I'm out, like, I'm exhausted. And so I was just so tired all the time. Just from everything.
Totally.
Just being exhausted, and like movement just took so much out of me. And like eventually it like got better, and you like your stamina builds and all that stuff. But yeah, that was the next 8 months. So yeah, I remember getting released from physical therapy, and I was just like devastated. I was like, wait, what do you mean? I was like, I'm not back.
Yeah,
I was like, but I'm not back. Like what? Yeah. And I feel like that was the first time or a time when I was like, man, life is really just going to move on from this. Yeah. Like physical therapy's over. I'm a little bit on my own now. Like they didn't refer me to anyone else.
Yeah, there's nowhere else to go.
Yeah. I was like, okay, go visit your neurologist every 6 months to make sure everything's fine. Cause they were making sure I didn't have MS. That was like whatever one thing they were concerned about. And so I didn't, like they've scanned my brain multiple times. And I remember like going to the neurologist a few months later, and he was like, so how you doing? He's like, is anything getting worse? I was like, no. And he was like, basically just let me see you walk and let me see how you've progressed. And then that was it. And so I was very like unimpressed with the neurologist. There was no like, well, let's try to figure out what happened or anything. It was just like, well, tell me about how you're doing. And I was like, I'm fine. Like,
yeah. You're like,
I'm here. Like,
just changed.
Yeah. I'm like, this is it. And then.
Yeah, because I feel like I remember your physical therapist being like your like strong pillar. Like she was, I feel like you guys were really similar in the fact that like she was no BS and she was like, hey, you can do this. And you're like, okay, I can do this.
Yeah, and I was like, I can do this.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then afterwards, there was just like no guide, if that makes sense. There's no clear next step. There's no like promise of you getting to X% better or anything like that. And I feel like too, your progress was really like, you improved really quickly, but then afterwards it kind of feel like it just has plateaued pretty much, right?
Yeah, or at least the slope. One person told me, she's like, at first you're going to measure your growth or your improvement in weeks. Yeah. It's going to go into days to weeks to months, then it's going to be years. Yeah. And so I was like, okay. And no, that's very much true. Very much true. She was very much right. Yeah. Unfortunately, it was like day to day. You're stronger by the day with every, and then you're week by week, and then month by month. And it's been 6 years, and it's definitely like year over year. It's like, okay, maybe I see a little bit from year 5 to 6, but not really. Yeah. But I think like the end of physical therapy was like, wow, I'm on my own with this. Like, there's nothing left that they have for me to do. And it was like, okay, like, let's just go do life. Yeah. And so I think after that, like, I've seen a lot of doctors since then. I've done way more testing. I've tried so many different things. I've done like a naturopathic route. I've done like hyperbaric therapy, like hyperbaric chamber. I've done like cold laser. I've seen a neurologist who's run every single test under the sun again. Yeah. Like, I've done so many different things. None of them have really moved the needle at all, really.
That's disappointing.
Yeah, no one has come up also with any concrete evidence of what actually happened to cause this. Yeah. There are a lot of, again, working theories. It's all one man's opinion, but nothing like conclusive at all. So yeah, and then I think just like life moves on. It's like that's now like that. I think for a while that was like the foreground of my life and the background was like school and everything. Mm-hmm. And then it flip-flopped where that just became the background and it was like, okay, well, I'm in school, I got married, I graduated, I studied economics, I started working, and it was just like that became a background of my life. And one thing that I will say that was the whole time, I remember my 18th birthday, my mom like always posts for our birthday. Yeah. And it was, again, right after I got out of the hospital, and I was talking to her, and I said, Mom, like, I don't want you to talk about my paralysis in my birthday post. Like, I want your birthday post to be about me, and not that. And she was kind of like, okay. My poor mom is just like trying to take things as they're coming. Like, she's like, whatever we need here to like remedy the situation almost. So she takes and she's like, okay. And I remember my thing being like, this is not a defining feature of who I am. Yeah. Like, I am not the girl who's paralyzed. Like, I'm Rachel. I'm this. I'm that. Like, I am not defined by this health issue, this fact. This one facet of me is not my defining quality. And so I think that's just always been how I've viewed it and how I've approached it, where I'm like, yeah, this is one part and a piece of the puzzle of my life, but this is not who I am. Like, that's not how I define myself, and that's not how I want anyone else to define me. Like, people, when I meet them, they're like, wow, it took me like months to tell them that I've been paralyzed, and they're like, wow, like, it took me so long to figure this out. I'm like, yeah, I'm not like, hey, I'm Rachel, I was paralyzed. Like, that's just not even, I'm like, that's just not who I am. That's not something that like, yes, it's obviously the biggest thing that's really happened in my life, like difficulties wise, obviously, like it's so life altering. It changes so much about you, how you view the world. Like, it changes you. But I'm also like, that's not like my defining character trait that I'm was paralyzed. And like, people always ask like, where am I at now? I don't know if I'm gonna get into that. Yes. But people always want to know like where you are. I'm like fully functional in my everyday life. Yeah. Like, I do everything as a normal person does. Yeah. I would say I can't I can't run. Mm-hmm. And it's like, I can't, okay. So what happens is basically my right leg's pretty much completely fine.
Yeah.
My left leg just doesn't work how it's supposed to.
Right.
Which basically means like I tell my leg to do something. It either does it slowly, doesn't do it completely, or isn't very strong when it does it.
Kind of glitchy.
Like, yeah, like glitchy. So like if I tried to run, it's like my left leg just is kind of like, it like half does everything and it does it a little bit too late. So it's just like thunk, 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 thunk. Like imagine someone limping and running at the same time. That's what it looks like.
Yeah.
And also I've like tried to just like run through it, but it just leads to you getting injured. That's the difficulty, is it's like you're not made to thunk thunk when you're running. And so like then your back, it's all, anyway, so it's a whole mess. So I don't run. Like I'm not as strong as I'd like to be. I can't really do like squats. I just have like a muscular imbalance. Like my left leg is
everything
just weaker
in your legs,
than it's supposed to be. So it's like anything that you think about doing with your leg just doesn't happen for me.
On that one side.
Yeah, on that one side. And so, yeah, like I think like I obviously like I work out every day. It for sure affects me in that way. I mean, even if like I walk really fast, like it doesn't feel right, and like I have to like keep the leg under control. And like I've been working on power walking recently, and even when I'm power walking,
you are fast.
I am fast, but it doesn't work. Like it's not like smooth. It's not how it's supposed to be, if that makes sense. Like it's not normal. Like it's not normal. It's not how it once was. Not how it is. And so, yeah, I'd say that's where I'm at. I think most people forget that.
Oh, for sure. Well, I think I feel like the main event happened and it was like, you have so much support. Everyone's like, oh my gosh, how are you? They're checking in on you.
Yeah.
And then over the last like 6 years, there's like, it's like quiet suffering is like, not to be like,
not to be like so sad,
like, but it's like quiet suffering. And like, I'm going to start tearing up because of this, but it's just like, like the reminder that like, you can't run, if that makes sense, is like, has it been hard? Like, how do you deal with that? How do you grieve that?
Yeah, I think it's like grief, and it definitely comes in waves where like there'll be moments where it's really hard. Like I remember like, particularly it's like very laborious to like, I remember like going to a new gym, and it's like I have to explain to people this whole saga over and over again, and it's like, man, I just wish I were
do like a
normal
class.
Yeah, like if I'm like I join a new CrossFit gym, or I join a new gym, or I join a workout class, and they're like, why are you modifying everything? Like, why aren't you doing this? And like they just think I'm like kind of lazy. Like, oh, you're supposed to jump for that, and I'm like, no, I'm doing a step up because I can't jump onto this box, and like I can't do that. And so, like that's just like really laborious. Yeah, I think the hardest part isn't the initial, because like
it's over, it's done. Yeah.
It's just like the time that goes on that you like, I'm still dealing with it every single day.
Yeah.
And like, that's what's hard. Like, that's what's hard, is like waking up every day. And it's like there's not a day that like, it doesn't like impact me that I don't think about it. Like I can never forget is what's hard. I think as far as like dealing with it day to day is like, I don't want it. Part of it's like, I don't want this. Like I was like, I can't be sad about this every day. Like in my life, like I can't wake, like I have to choose every day to be like, I'm not going to sit and mull about this. Like I got to go on my walk as fast as I can, do my best, and like move on. Like it's done. Like we're on to the next task. But I think like it for sure gets to me at times. Like for sure, like there are days when I'm like really frustrated. I'm like, I just wish it was normal. Like I just wish I were like every other person that I see. And I think like every year on like the anniversary of when it happened, like I have like my day that's like I do my things by myself, and I'm just like, hey, I just want my time, and I go and I cry, and I just am like sad, and I just like mourn the things that I wanted. I think what's hard now also is like looking forward and like seeing, like thinking about like having kids, and it's like, man, like there are things I wish I would do with my kids. Oh, it makes me so sad. I'm like ugly crying. No, I'm like actually crying. I'm like, I need to calm down. Well, but like I think about like chasing your kids, like running with your kids, and they're just like those things. Like I think that like I'll never be able to do. Like those are the things that like really get to me when I think about those for too long. Clearly. Just like thinking about that is like really painful.
Yeah, for sure.
And like really emotional, because it's like, man, like I just look at other parents and like see other things. Like, I'm not a parent, obviously I don't have kids, but like that being something like I really want, and that just being like, man, that like really like those are the things that I mourn. Like, man, that's like not, maybe like won't look the way that I really like would want it to look.
Yeah.
It's really painful. And though I think something now, like looking back, is like, man, when this happened, like I was just a kid.
Yeah.
Like I think about I think about the girl who was 17 and like in some ways felt like I had the weight of the world on my shoulders. Not actually, but it just feels like it's just like so heavy and like just like honestly, it's an awful thing to happen. And just like thinking about like, I feel like in a lot of ways my childhood ended when that happened, where it was like, hey, this is real totally life. Like you have to like grow up. You can't be like the carefree going out, like doing all the things that like 18, 19, 20, 21, 22-year-olds do. It's just like, okay, well, you have to get your 8 hours of sleep at night. Otherwise, like your leg's not going to work how you want it to tomorrow. Like it's going to be laggy and like not as good. And so there's just like things like that, like the carefreeness of it and like the levity of things is just like gone. And so I think that's like something that now is sad. It's like, it's fine. It just is what it is. But it's like, oh, you're just more in different things, I think, in different phases.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's really hard. I was like looking forward and being like, man, I just don't know. Like, it just may not look like the way I want it to look.
Yeah. And I feel like it's so hard too, because it's like there's no, like, there's just so many unanswered questions too. Yeah. And like, it's like, I would do anything that like, if you told me to do X, Y, Z, I would like do it. Yeah. You know what I mean? To be better. And it's hard, like, keeping also like hope that like things will get better without being like super disappointed. I feel like too.
Yeah, like I remember I had this big time where I was like, man, like I don't have hope anymore. Like I basically have accepted like my life is this, and it's like just really painful to have expectations of change. Yeah, because then the next year comes
and like it's kind of the same,
and it's like, well, yeah, no, my life looks the same that it did a year ago. And so that has been something that like I've been battling with now of like, okay, like what's like, how do you keep like just as much hope as you want to have, and like also it's like keep trying, and it's like, man, like I don't even know what to do, like where to go. And so it's just like it gets really tiring in that way. But there's just like so many facets of like, okay, how do you keep hope? And also I think what was one thing that was hard when it first happened was when like people would try to relate to me, but in ways that was like I remember, again, my sweet mom, I feel so bad. Like being a parent and watching your child go through this, I just like can't imagine how.
Yeah, it's hard.
And I'm sure like from their perspective, like they would have done it. Like they would have switched place with me in an instant.
Oh, for sure.
Like literally no questions asked to be like, yeah, no, I will take her place gladly. But I remember one time, maybe I shouldn't say this was her, but this isn't all like just in so much love. She was like, you know, like I went and visited someone who like he just had something happen to him. He's like a 60-year-old, like a 60 or 70-year-old, 75-year-old who like had a bad fall, and he basically was like he's feeling really tired recently, just with like the recovery, like it's really weighing on him, like he's just like emotionally really tired all the time. And not to demean that experience that person is having, like when you're 60, you're not dead, like you're still young. Our parents are for sure like older, and I think that would still be very hard for them, but there was just an element of like, no, I'm a teenager. I was like, hey, like I haven't lived like this people's full 20s life that like you have, and not that like I won't have a full life, but like I look at people like, oh, this injury happened to me in my 60s, and I was like, again, to my point earlier, it's like, yeah, but you ran with your kids, like you played t-ball with them, and you played kickball, and you coached their team, and you ran the bases with them, and like I'm never gonna do that. Like those things, like you think about all the things you did in like 17 to 50, like that's huge.
Totally.
And like, I just don't for me, I'm like, you don't get that, like, I don't have that.
Yeah.
And I think that's part of it that like, and it's rude, and I never say this to anyone's face, but
this is like what's going on inside.
But this is just like my thoughts and my feelings, totally and like normal. I'm just saying them, like just being so honest and blunt about them, because I'm like, yeah, are they perfect thoughts or feelings? No, because like in your perfect heart of hearts, like it's hard for everyone, and everyone's heart is hard.
Everyone has their things,
but it's just when people are like trying to equate our experiences sometimes,
and I'm like, it's totally different.
Yeah, I'm like, no, you have to. I need you to understand that these two things are different.
Yeah,
and I think that's what's hard, because I'm a big believer in like, no, just because your difficult health thing that's going on wasn't the same as me getting paralyzed, it's still hard for you. Like somebody like, you know, tears their ACL and has to get a surgery. I'm like, no, that's still hard and devastating. And like, that's totally fine. And I'm not here.
Also like not at all what you've had to deal with.
But also, and so like, I'm totally fine to be like, no, you be sad. Like be sad about that. That's gutting. Do not equate our experiences in any shape. Don't say you now know
what it's like to be paralyzed.
Yes, you have a sliver of like, wow, this would be really hard, but it's like, imagine being not fully healed from your surgery forever. And like, that's hard. And so I think those are just the moments that are hard, is I'm like, no, the experience just isn't the same.
Yeah.
And it's fine that it's not the same.
Totally.
That's the whole point.
Yeah,
like,
totally.
I'm totally like, you can have empathy for me, and like, I don't need you to say that we've had the same experience.
Totally.
I don't need that from you. I don't need anything from anyone, really.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't really need people's like sympathy about it, because I just like don't really get a ton of value from that.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's like a bad thing to say, but like, people feeling bad for me is like, well, I just get up and I soldier on.
You are.
we get up and we move on.
Yeah, I like hope you know just how strong you are, and like it like breaks my heart, because it's like you're like my little sister, but like I think ever since the accident it's like flipped, where like I feel like you're my rock, where like I feel like it should be the other way around, if that makes sense.
No, well, I feel like you throughout the whole thing, like I could not have done it without you. Like, I think about the way that like I hope you didn't just move to Utah for me, but like in a lot of ways, like you totally saved my life, like when you moved to Utah, because it was like, I just think about like I spent every day with you, like I slept every single day, and like if I hadn't had that, like I just think I would have been in like such a darker place, because it was already really hard. And like I look back on it now, and I think now I can see how much harder it was in the moment than in the moment I felt like it was. Like I look back and I'm like, oh no, I was like,
you were going through it.
I was going through it. Like it was hard, and I was like mourning this whatever change.
You didn't
in my
even
life.
know what was going on, too. It's like my life's changed, and I'm trying to deal with this.
Yeah, and like I'm trying to figure out, and also like I'm improving. It just the whole thing. There's so many facets of it that like I'm trying to deal with at the same time. But yeah, and like I just think like I wouldn't have been able to do it without you. Like truly. No,
it was
like
the least I could do.
No, but like truly, like the most anyone could have done.
Yeah,
like there was like there's nothing, like you did the most anyone could have done for me in that scenario, and like I'll be like forever grateful for you for that, because like I just wouldn't have been able to.
My little sister. Anyways, whoa, wow.
Yeah, wow.
Well, I really do. Like, you are so incredible. And, like, no, seriously, you were, like, my rock. And I think anyone who meets you can, like, sense this, like, strong, like, I know who I am sense about you. But I loved kind of how you talked about how, like, this doesn't define you.
Yeah.
And you don't want to be defined by this. This isn't your life. This isn't your legacy. Like, if you had a statement to say, like, this is who I am, like, what do you say to that?
Man, I feel like to, like, sum myself up in one word isn't, I don't know if I could, like, say it in a sentence. I probably should have a sentence of, like, who I am. But it's, like this sounds dumb, but it's, like, no, I'm Rachel. Like, I'm your friend. I'm your daughter. I'm a strong person, and I'm fun, and I like to go do like I have all these hobbies and these things I love to do, and like all these aspects of who I am. And like I could list off these like character traits, like, oh, I'm like tenacious, I'm hardworking, but I'm also like I'm really kind and like thoughtful and caring. I guess I'm just listing positive attributes. At
no,
this
you
point.
are all these things, though.
But,
I can attest.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, oh, I love to like I love to road bike, I love to go to the gym, I love to cook, and I love to bake, and like those are the things that make me who I am.
Yeah,
and like yes, this makes me who I am, and like changes my lens of how I see the world.
Right.
But it's like, but no, like those are the things, like the things that I love and the things that I love to do and love to be and who I am. Like that's what makes me, like that's what like I decide what defines me.
Yeah.
And like how I choose that's going to define me. It's not like, and I think it's also just to say like, I get to choose what defines me.
Yeah.
Like this third party event, and that goes for anything. Like this third party event that happened that was completely out of my control, that I would have chosen this for me, and I couldn't control it happening to me, so therefore I can control if it defines me.
Totally.
And like I can control like how I overcome and like how I move on from it. Can I control how much I've healed from it? No. Can I control like that it happened, like how much I heal? No. Will I do everything I can? Yes. But at the same time, like I get to control my next steps and like who I become.
Yeah.
And, like how I move on. And I feel very passionately about that. For everything, for everyone.
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, clearly, but no, seriously, I think it's
and easier said than done.
You're just never the victim in this, which is, I think, amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I just feel like it just doesn't serve.
Yeah, you don't
anyone.
progress or grow at all from it.
Gain anything, and I think that doesn't mean you can't be sad and you can't mourn things. But I think like choosing to not be victim and just to move on in some ways. But Yeah, like, and I think, like, it for sure has affected me in some way. Like, I for sure have, like, more health anxiety now than I think the average person
For sure. I mean, you are so clean eating. Like, you're so healthy.
Yeah, or even, like...
You're getting so much sun.
Yeah, like, I get my sun, or even, like, there have been a few times to, like, get things in my eye. Like, I'll get, I'll get, like, a face wash, or, like, some sort of, like, chemically thing in my eye that I'm not supposed to. I have this vivid memory. And I remember, like, just sitting and just flushing my eye out. Because I was so... It was at night, and I was so... It's, like, the thing, the fear of, like...
You're going to wake up and something's wrong with you.
It's like, I'm going to go to bed and wake up and be blind.
Oh my gosh.
Or just things like that. And because I think it's just like the feeling of like this like turned on a dime so quickly. Like I was fine and then I wasn't one day. And so I think like that feeling is like something that like I have to like work through. Like, and it's not debilitating in any way, but for sure there's just a little bit more like, no, I can see the bad things that happen.
Like,
or like,
things happen.
Things happen. Or I'm like, you know, there are worse things.
Yeah.
Like I'm more afraid of like suffering than death. I know that sounds weird, but like I'm more scared of living like a life where I can't do anything that I want to do than like not anything at all.
Wow,
I don't know
that's
if
so powerful.
That makes sense.
No, 100% makes sense.
But it's like, man, like, because I'm so grateful for the progress that I've had, and I'm like, man, it would have been so hard if I were in a wheelchair the rest of my life. And people are like, there are people that happens to.
Devastating too.
And I just see that I'm like, man, like it could be so much worse. Like it could be better and it could be worse, and like both things are true at the same time. And but it's like, man. But anyways, life moved on.
Life moved on.
Yeah, like got married, graduated.
How did you and Davis meet? Give us like a quick rundown of the story.
I mean, we just met through friends. But, like he's the best.
So what about Davis? Like, what drew you to Davis initially?
I mean, we got married 6 months later, so it was just like we clicked instantly. Like it's just like he saw the world like the same way I did. Like I really like respected his opinions about things. Just like so many things about him that like, man, we just like clicked.
Love.
So he's the best. I love him.
Okay, so you're married, in love. They are so in love, by the way. Even years later.
Yeah,
it's
4.5.
Get a room, you two.
You're like, tone it down.
No, I'm kidding.
No,
you're married. You're starting a new company.
Yeah, we're starting a business together, which is so fun. Just like so many things going on at once, but it's great. So that just...
Any other updates on your life that you want to share with the viewers?
No, that's pretty much. We have the podcast.
Yeah, we have the podcast, obviously.
Yeah, but no, that's life just...
She's still a diva.
Still a diva.
She's still a diva at heart.
Don't worry.
Just a strong diva.
Just, I try to choose my time and place.
Yes.
Try to choose my time and place a little bit more than I used to. But love the podcast. It's one of my favorite things that we do, so...
Well, thank you for sharing your story and getting vulnerable and taking us through this journey that honestly, I think people don't understand like how little you talk about it too. And so I think outside of our family, I don't think anyone has any idea what you've gone through.
Yeah, very few.
So you're amazing and we all love you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Love you too. Love everyone.